Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we're having a look at Alchemia Story. This one's going to be a little weird to introduce. The Steam page merely says, create the character you really want and explore the alchemy world with the help of YOME. Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's it. I don't know if that's the best introduction, but I can tell you that this is a JRPG, it's an MMORPG. It is sort of like a mobile version of Genshin Impact or Tower of Fantasy or whatever. Similar to that, as far as I understand. I don't know. There are a few extra little blurps here, like design your character freely. You're not alone. Explore with YOME. Solo player mode. Easy communication with like and stickers. Battle hard with easy commands. Unforgettable story and characters. And ride your mount to start the new adventure. Yeah, all of that and more can be found in the description of this video. You can go to the links there and you can do the deep dive for yourself. On top of that, you can also use the timestamps. Jump between the different parts of this video, find what you're looking for, and leave satisfied. We're going to be jumping in here to look at the male customization first, and then female. I'm going to have the randomize section at the start. We're going to start by randomizing, because it's right there when you jump in, and then we'll look at all the detail options that you can actually modify and use to change your character. As I mentioned, let's jump in on male first. Now, these are the presets that you get given, but they are random. So if you click reload, then it reloads them. They're not all that random. Sometimes you get the same ones. It's a glitch in the matrix or something, okay? You can get a good idea of what's available here. The size of the characters, the build or muscularity, the hairstyles, the colors, the faces, all of this you can see when you randomize. So like if you want to, you look at this section, then you jump onto the female section like this, and then you know what you can make. It's a good look at what you can do. You can see that there are some younger faces, some older faces, some hairier faces, and they're all pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to take this guy right here to customize right now, and I'm going to show you what you can do. You can go easy mode. It's basically a watered down version of the detailed mode. We're going to go with detailed mode for this because, yeah, it works. There's more there. Then, you select this. I'm not sure why it says age, by the way, but this is your body, your height. It's basically what they're saying, that this is a kid and that's a grown-up. I don't know about that. I think this is more just height. but whatever. I say that because like your skin isn't really changing. There's no like more wrinkles or like there's no maturity difference. You know, we're gonna go with the middle one for now, and then I'm gonna show you the next section here. This is your height and weight sliders. You can sort of be skinny on this side and very tall, or skinny and very short, or you can be very heavy and very short, and heavier and taller. Then the weight gets spread out a little bit. What I sort of realized when I went in here for the first time was that these guys don't give a shit. They just don't care. And I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's like, you know, look at that guy. It looks absurd. It looks ridiculous. But yeah, you can do that if you want. Same for the skinny one. Like, what the heck is this body shape? I like it. I think that they don't take themselves too seriously in this game. And that's a good thing. It's a really good thing. Okay. Now, obviously, I want to just point out as we go through here, the taller you make your character, or the older you make your character, the bigger you can be, and taller you can be and whatever. And the same for small. If you go for the smallest one, and then you go over here, and then you make it like small and heavy, then it looks like this, and small and light. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm going to leave it in the middle for now, though, and we'll just take it like this. Faces. There are a decent number of choices here. It's pretty important, the face you pick, because a lot of the details and stuff are sort of set in stone. It also sort of sets up the age of your character, the overall look and feel of your character. The face is pretty important. It's as important as the body. You get some stern looking faces, some happy looking faces, some younger looking faces, and some older looking faces. They all look okay. No issues with any of these, to be honest. And yeah, you sort of pick what works for you. I'm going to take the basic default one, the first one here, and we're going to continue. Now the hair. The hair system is actually kind of cool. I actually like what they've got here. You know, it's a nice detailed system that lets you do quite a bit and sort of customize things quite a bit. First thing, you have your whole head of hair here, and this is sort of a whole full style. And these other three are when you want to fine tune. I'll show you how it works now. As I go through here, I will discuss it. Basically, you'll notice that there are some styles, I think this is one of them, where you're allowed to change the bangs and the back separately, and that's those two over there. And then on most of them, you can add extra hair. I'll show you how it works as I go through here. I don't know what the difference is between the male and female hair, but looking at these, I get the feeling that they're the same. I think that these are both male and female hairstyles together, and that's good. That's nice. There's no reason not to share them. So, with that done, that's all the whole hairs that you can do. Now, if I select this one as an example, nice big, I don't know, Dragon Ball style hair, then I go over here and I click the bangs, you'll see it resets back to the other one, right? That's because on this style, you can change the bangs. It's like the template style. You can change the bangs separately, right? Lots of different bang choices here. And then you can pick the one you want, and it really is a lot, by the way. You can pick the one you want, like this one. Then you can go to the back here, and you can customize that too, and it leaves the bangs in place. And there's a lot of options. And what this ends up doing is it gives you a lot more styles than you would find in the preset styles, and it gives you a lot more control over what you want to make. I'm, to be perfectly honest with you, quite a big fan of these modular hairstyles. The systems that have full control with different pieces that you can add. As an example, that one, I feel like it looks nice, so I'll take it. Then we can move on here, and I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we can try. Yeah, so then you can just add the back hair, the extra at the back, and it can go on. You know, you can sort of make your own. With all these choices here, I bet that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of combinations that you can have. They don't all look great, but, you know, you can work something out that looks rather nice. So there you go. It's a lot of control over the hair. I'm going to put this style on, and then I'm going to go next, just because of the color. So the hair color over here, you get to choose all the different colors that are available. You get full RGB, as you can see here. And then you also get to do glossiness. It's like you can have a dark gloss or a light gloss. It's kind of hard to see that. If I show it to you on this, it's more visible. And it's kind of nice, the fact that you have so much control over this. And again, full RGB. They don't care. You can literally do anything. The reason I picked this was because it's the whole hair. Okay, it doesn't really work. Because if you take one of these styles and you modify it, so let's take what we had before, because it was kind of a cool style. Like this, and like this, and then we do the extra hair at the back, then we go next. Now, all of them are visible, and you can change each of them individually, or you can change the whole thing. So if we go for like, let's say the blue over here, then we can do bangs, and we can just like, you know, change whatever we want on the bangs. We can do back hair, we can change whatever we want there. Extra hair, same thing. And then you can just switch to the preset color mode, where they give you a list of colors and you can sort of do whatever. I'm going to reset it for now, and we're going to just go back and put a hairstyle on that doesn't cover the face too much. Let's go for... that one's good. That one's good. That's how the colors for the hair works. Let's look at the eyes quickly. You can do heterochromia if you want. You just click on odd eye on or off. And I want to say, once again, with full RGB, you can do literally anything. You can go for full black eyes. You can add the gloss if you want. The gloss tends to do more when you actually have a color on, though. You'll notice if I add the brightness over here. It makes it sort of brighter on the light side, darker on the dark side. Full RGB, once again. And, as I mentioned, you can do heterochromia. It's nice. It's nice. Skin color. I want to show you this because it's important. You can do whatever the hell you want. Now, the full RGB doesn't translate quite as well as it does for the hair. In other words, you go for like the red over here. That's the reddest you can make the red, right? It's not like, it's not the same as what you've seen over here. But it's most of the way there. And because of this, again, you can do almost anything. As an example, the blue over here it's not exactly the color that you've seen over there, so the translation isn't like 1-to-1. But you can, at the end of the day, do almost any color. And I mean, that's cool. That's kind of cool. Switch mode just gives you sort of basic skin colors to pick from that are more grounded in reality, because you might not be able to find these colors if you're fiddling around here. Not by yourself, at least. There you go. That's it. Colors. Now detail. So, there's more. There's more that you can do with the hair. The hair sub-color, you need basically a specific style for that. I'm wondering which one it's going to be. Let's just check quickly. Yeah, I think that's basically just for the other slots. I'm not going to bother with it right now. You know what I'm saying. It's for the slots that you do for the back, the extra hair, the bangs, whatever. For now, I'll just do this and I'll show you how it works. The shading, it's these parts in between. And you can actually do some interesting stuff with it. Although I realize that oftentimes the colors don't really translate all that well. But you can do some cool stuff. Like if you take white as an example on something like black hair, it ends up looking kind of cool. Or if you have a green head of hair and you want to get like another green shade in there, you can do this and you can look more green, or you can make it darker or whatever. It's kind of nice. And then you can do the same thing on each different part of the hairstyle. It's quite detailed. It's actually pretty impressive. It really is. Now, it goes a step further. And this is like one of the things that it takes this system to a point where I think it's actually better than a lot of the other systems that I've seen out there. And it's funny because this seems like such a... I don't want to say a cheap game, okay? But it feels like a mobile game that was sort of tossed together on a whim. I don't know. Maybe it's really popular. I just don't know about this game. But like, it's kind of crazy to see all these options in here. Now, all of the hairstyles don't give you full control, but the reason I chose this one is because it's a great one to show off how much you can actually do. You can actually modify the hair almost entirely. I don't know how they did this. I don't know what's involved in this, but you can do crazy stuff with it, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I really dig it. It's like, hey, if you want to take just the bangs away and see your character's face, but still have the big hair at the back, you can do that, you know? I think it's sick. Next up, nose adjustment. I'm a big fan of that, by the way. Just the hair stuff. You can change the size of your nose. It's not a huge thing, and you can change the position. Then you can do nose shape. This is going to be different on almost every single face that you have. There's a lot of movement here. You can mess a lot of things up if you want to. Some of the faces have much bigger noses, and then you can modify them a whole lot more. And that's kind of nice. Then, the face eye size. I want to say that the eye sizes, they work, I want to say a little differently for each face. Like some of them actually get really big, like the big round saucer eyes, they get quite large. Whereas these ones, they get big, but like slightly less big. Just imagine you have this, but then you round it out. So some of the faces definitely benefit more from this. And you can also, with this, sort of change the mood of your character a little bit. You can make your character, you know, come across differently, which is kind of nice. I'll leave it sort of in the middle for now. Eye position. Not too much movement on that, but it's still nice. It's good to have. Point to make. Some of the faces, again, benefit more or less from these. It's just how the faces work. Eyebrow colors, because, yeah, I mean, there it is. Full RGB over the eyebrow colors. For me, I'm just going to make them black. And we'll just leave it there for now. Just because you can do anything with it that you want. Eyebrow shape. You actually get to not so much fully mold the eyebrow, but you get to, once again, set the tone. It's like you can be concerned. You can come across as worried, or you can come across as a little angrier, and you can just tilt them that way. It's a big thing for your expression of your character, but it's again something that you should probably be careful with. Just because. Mouth shape. You can change the size of the mouth. This is once again something that's linked to the faces. For this character, he's got just a little line there. You can change it. And that's kind of cool. Then, your name. This is it. It's the final spot that we're going to arrive at. We're done. Now you can enter your name, and you can jump in and start gaming. And that brings us to the end of the male customization. We're going to go all the way back now, and we're going to jump on to female. I'll show you what they look like. Alright. Female. She looks happy to be selected. Now, let's randomize. I want to point out, I personally believe that the female bodies react better to the weight and the height, and they call them the age sliders. I think that the bodies change in a more natural way, even though they look super unnatural. It's like they react better. Because the problem with the male bodies was that they're so ripped, and that never changes. It's like you can make your character fat, and he's still like mega ripped. You can make him skinny, and he's still mega ripped. On the females, you get the impression that the weight's actually being added to the right places. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like, I feel there should be like some in-between, which we're not seeing, but that's fine. It's whatever. The females, they do look good, and I feel like the kids that you can choose, the younger ones, quote unquote, they do actually look a little younger. Like the male characters just look like small little men. These actually look like they could be kids. There's some really interesting faces on female. Okay, so let's pick one and let's go with it. There are some very cute options to go through here, so let's get started. We're going to go for detailed mode. Easy mode, it's just a stripped down version of detailed mode. You don't want to bother with that. Now you can set your, they call it your age slider, but it's actually your height, your size, basically. You can be pretty tall, man. And you can be pretty heavy, but then you can also be teeny weeny. I'm going to go for the middle so I can show you what the body slider looks like. This is your height and your weight, and you can sort of move it around. You can be like uber skinny, which is just freaky, or you can be very short and very skinny, or you can go for the heavier look. And that actually swells the body up a little bit. It's still weird, okay? It's still weird, this arched back that they have. It's still strange, but I think it looks better than the male characters. Then you can go for the shorter one that's heavier. And then, if you want to sort of take it a step further, you can come here and you can make your character bigger or smaller. And then you can use the weight and height slider again. I don't know, man. There's just something off about all the different body shapes in this game. The females just look a little less off, if you know what I'm saying. Right? There you go. Okay. Faces. I like the females' faces more than I like the male faces, just because they seem to have a nice variety here. You even get cute ones like this that are just closed. You get some more concerned looking faces, some more determined, some more angry looking faces. The older faces are, I feel, fewer on this. They've got like this one there, where she looks like really depressed. She's like, why? Why did they put me here with all these kids? And that's the only one, really. Like, the others are all younger looking. But at least you have the one option, you know, if that's what you want. Now, the hair. Let's have a peek. So this immediately tells me that the male and female styles are not the same, because that was definitely not on male. But here you go. The way the hair works is, holy, what the, look at the size of these things. The way this works is you get to choose your whole hair, which is a full style over here. And there are some nice styles. And then, when you've done this, you can jump in and customize the style. This is one of my favorite hair systems to ever exist. I know, it sounds ridiculous. You know, in this Alchemia Story, you find the best ever hair system. Look, it's not the best looking visually. The fidelity is not amazing, but I love what they've done with the options. So you get the full styles, then you can go into bangs, and then it resets it to this style, but then you get to actually select the bangs that you want, right? There's a bunch of different bangs here. And once you've got the bangs you want, you get to jump in and change the back hair as well. And there are lots of choices. So we're going to take one that doesn't go in the face too much. Let's see. They all go in the face. This one. Perfect. Back hair. Now, you change the hair at the back. While, obviously, preserving what's at the front. So you get to customize. You get to change it. And there are a lot of choices. It's kind of cool. Then, if that wasn't enough, you actually get to pick one here, then you get to put extra hair on. And it looks kind of cool. This is why it's one of my favorite systems, because it's modular, and it actually goes a step further. You'll see in just a minute. So I'm going to pick one here. We'll take the pigtails on the sides, because I think that looks kind of nice. And then I'm going to go next, and I'll show you what you get to do. Right? I think it's in the next menu, but we'll leave this here for now. Just make a mental note that the hair will change again, and you will see why I like this system so much. First things first, colors. Full RGB, or you can actually just choose the colors that they give you as preset colors. And this is quite nice. It's a decent choice. But full RGB lets you do the hue, which is obviously just giving you any color you want. Then you do the saturation. Then you do the brightness. And then the gloss. The gloss depends greatly on the color you pick. Some look better glossy, some look less good. And it also just adds another little layer to the customization. But for now, we're just going to go with the brown here. There's a lot you can change there. Eye color, let's zoom in. The hues, full RGB once again. Full saturation control, brightness, and gloss. Yeah. I bet that there's a bunch of really cool characters that have been made for this. There's not a huge amount in terms of like facial customization, but like there's a lot of stuff that you can do anyway. Then finally you can do heterochromia, you can do left and right eyes separately. Skin color. These are the preset ones that they give you. It's okay. It's okay. But if that's not for you, then you can just do anything you want. I mentioned on the male side that you don't actually get full control. No matter what you pick, you're not going full bright, full dark, full color. In other words, like if I put the saturation full and I go over here, the red that I'm selecting right at the end here, you can't really make it the same as that color right there. It just gets this far and that's it. And that's probably for the best. But you must just understand that you don't get full control. You get some control over the color. And you get to be a different color if you want to be. And then finally, breast size. Because, I mean, obviously that's an option. The males don't get an equivalent. You can't change your package size or your posterior dimensions or anything else. But, yeah, there you go. Breast size. Then, the hair stuff. It never ends. That's why I like it so much. There's a bunch of extra stuff you can do. You can change the... Basically, I'll show you how this works. It's sort of... This is supposed to change your whole hair's sub-color. I don't have a sub-color right now. So if I had a two-toned hairstyle, then I can change the second tone right here. But, as an example, the extra hair... I'm wondering if I can actually change it here. No, it's not really working. I need a different style for this. So if I go back quickly. Let's take whole hair. I mean, let's try this one. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Okay, but let's see. No, it's still not working. I can't remember which, because I actually looked at it and I was like, yeah, this one works. Let's put some on and see if it works. Let's go for that massive, this one. Try that first. Ah, okay. Sub-color. There we go. So this one's for this. It's for the extra color that you have somewhere in your hair. That's why I didn't see it earlier. But then you get to do the shading on the hair. And this is actually quite interesting. So what you have here is you have full RGB control of the shade, the shadows basically on the hairstyle, which is kind of sick. Because again, you can make some cool stuff. Like as an example, if I go for a full, let's say this hair, we do the color full black, right? So completely black. And then I go over here and I change the shade in, you can make some really cool effects, you know? There's a lot of sick stuff that you can do with it. Just as an example. Again, this is one of the reasons that I really love this system. Next up, the coolest part. You actually get to change the shape and the length of the hair of the style that you have. So it actually like sort of dynamically changes to get more or less. And you have lots of different options. Like, look at this. The back, the front, the size at the back, and then the little tail down at the bottom. And this is different for every style. Let me show you. Let's take, as an example, that style. It's a good one. It's really cool, right? I love it. I think it's such a cool system. Look at the top there. Look on the top. Okay. It's sick. I'm a massive fan of this. You know, it's something that you don't see often. And it's nice because if you want like this busy hairstyle, but you want the bangs out of your face, you can just do that and you're good to go. So yeah, this is really cool. I'm a huge fan of the way they've implemented it. Now, we're moving on to the nose. I want to move the character alterna this way. You can change the nose size, the position, it's up or down. You can barely see what's changing there. Then you can do the shape. You can make it like massive. You can pull the bottom out a little bit, or you can, what does this one do? Oh, that's changing the tilt of the nostrils, basically. So you have some control over it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. Eyes. You can change their size. I mentioned on the male side of things that this is interesting because the faces obviously work differently. Each face has many different options. In other words, like, if you pick a face with massive eyes to start, then you can go way bigger on them, and you can't go as small, and vice versa. And some faces have closed eyes, so the options are obviously more varied there. You can do what you want with this. If you make it, as an example, small, and then you move the eye position around, you can make a really weird-looking character if you want. It's cool. But for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to go on 0 over here, and we're going to leave it like that. Then you can move it around, as I mentioned. It's decent amount of movement. It's not bad. Eyebrow color, full RGB. Once again, not much to say here other than the fact that you can do anything you want. I'm going to make it black for now, just so it mixes with the hair nicely. Eyebrow shape. You can sculpt a little bit here, make them bigger, make them thinner. And then you can tilt them the one way or the other way. And then you can finally bring them in or take them out. Again, this is a big thing for your character's expression. You know, the mood, basically. Then, the mouth shape. This is more often than not very impactful, just because most of the characters don't really have a big mouth that you can actually see. But it's decent to have, regardless. And then your final option is the name. And that actually brings us to the end. Yeah, that's it. We're done. So for the outro, I'm going to say, is this not a bad system? It's like, it's pretty good. You know, the models are what they are. It's like, yeah, they look a little funny. It's what you expect from like this JRPG style MMORPG. But I will say that the amount of options that they have, specifically like for things like the hair, is actually really impressive for a game like this. Now, I'm not going to like put down the game or whatever. I'm not going to say anything negative about it because I really don't know the game. But judging from the amount of detail that there is in the system, I imagine there's quite a lot that you can also do in the game. I do know that there's an in-game store where you can buy outfits and stuff like that. There's a lot of different equipment sets that you can add to it, and most likely different hairstyles, colors, accessories and stuff to modify your character further. But overall, like the system that they've got here, if this is in fact a mobile game and it's a free game, it's actually pretty decent. You know? It's a nice looking system. You get a lot of options with it, and that's cool. It's not going to win any awards for like the beauty or the fidelity of the characters' models. It's probably not going to win any awards for the diversity or inclusivity. It is this style of game, and it leans heavily in towards that, and that's cool. Yeah, so I'd love to hear from you guys what you think. Did you try this game? Have you given it a go before? And yeah, did you manage to make a character that you like? You can, as always, find my links below if you want to support me anyway on Twitch or through coffee or anything like that. You can check that out. You can give this one a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. Most importantly, happy creating those characters, my dudes. Happy that.